I connect to her outlook on life. K-pop Demon Hunters Audrey Nuna discusses Mira, potential sequels, and her music career. Exclusive. One of the best things to come out of the success of K-pop Demon Hunters is the way the brilliantly talented vocalists responsible for bringing Hunter X to life have become some of the world's biggest stars. This includes EJA, Ray Ami, and the singing voice of Mira, Audrey Nuna. In an exclusive interview with CBR, Nuna shares information about her hopes for Mira in K-pop Demon Hunters 2, her personal career passions and inspirations, and the future of real-world performances by the voices of Hunter X. Audrey Nuna may now be best known as Mira from K-pop Demon Hunters, but she's so much more than that. She's a genre-blending artist who's been touring around the world, a compassionate and generous philanthropist, and a creative visionary with a brand of style all her own. Nuna is passionate about everything she does, and she's happy to share a taste of what the future holds for her and K-pop Demon Hunters. You, EJA, and Rayami recently performed live together for the first time on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. What was that like, and how much time were you given to prepare? Audrey Nuna. That was crazy. Honestly, really fun night. I will say rehearsals going into it were super intense. Because we had never performed together before, it was literally our first time performing together on live television. We had about maybe 4 days of rehearsal, and they were long days. Pretty intense, almost took me back to my theater days. No, I love them. Honestly, I miss the two of them so much. We really gotten so close over the last few months, and it's such an honor to perform alongside them. Ray is incredible. EJA, generation talent. Really such an honor to be performing alongside both of them. You've been performing publicly for well over a decade and singing professionally since 2018. Who or what was the biggest inspiration for your personal style of music and your unique blend of genres? Honestly, because of the whole genre blending thing, I feel like I've been influenced by so many different types of artists. I love Radiohead, Missy Elliott, I love A Tribe Called Quest, I love Beyoncé, I love Solange, been recently heavily getting into Elliott Smith. You recently wrapped your first ever US headline tour, as well as an international tour that took you across Japan, Australia, and Korea. What was that experience like, and what was the highlight of it for you? I loved it. I really love performing. It's one of my favorite things to do. I'm very blessed to be able to do that professionally. It was my first time doing my own tour, so it was incredible. I had been to Japan before, of course, Korea, I'm Korean. Australia was my first time. It was really cool to see the different crowds and how there were different mannerisms for different countries. And regardless, the excitement for the music was all very connecting. You can feel the cultural differences when you're performing for different crowds. Especially Korea, though, the Korean festival, Pentaport, that was probably one of the most insane shows that I've ever played. I imagine, with how elaborate your staging is, it had to get even hotter on stage there than usual. Oh my god, yeah. I really thought I was going to faint because I faint a lot. Have you ever fainted on stage? Not yet. Moving over to K-pop Demon Hunters for a minute, as the singing voice of Mira, what would you want a solo song from her to be about? I would kind of like to hear a more introspective Mira, more vulnerable, how she became the tough, thick-skinned person that she is. I think it would be nice to hear her more vulnerable side on an introspective rap. I love her duality. I love that she's tough and really hard to get through, but at the same time, I think she's one of the most empathetic characters in the cast. Fans have noticed how much the characters in K-pop Demon Hunters share with the three of you, Nuna, EJA, and Rayami. How much do you feel you share with Mira? A lot. Honestly, I think a lot of the reason people are connecting with the music seems to be because the three of us, Ray, EJA, myself included, all felt really seen by these characters. They're all characters who, in some way, shape, or form, have been rejected by the status quo and have had to live their whole lives based on that, living with an almost outsiderish mentality, and the three of us have really gone through that in our lives. So I personally feel like with Mira, I connect to her outlook on life. The bluntness and straightforwardness of it, I connect with. Just her energy in general, she does not give a shit. I feel very seen by that. K-pop Demon Hunters has been more successful than anyone could have imagined. Its soundtrack topping charts and the film itself becoming the biggest Netflix original project ever. How do you feel about its popularity in relation to your individual career? I feel blessed to be a part of such a groundbreaking project. I think not only as a musician and an artist, where I'm like, wow, it's really cool to be a part of something like this, as a Korean person and as someone who has always felt, at times, excluded from the conversation. Even growing up, I grew up in a very non diverse town with very few people who looked like me. The inner child in me is jumping for joy because what an incredible way to celebrate Korean culture and celebrate individuality. My greatest hope is to bring that energy into the Audrey Nuna world for the album that I'm working on. So many things I learned from K-pop Demon Hunters will translate into this next album. Since you bring up your next album, which will be your third independent album, what would you say you're aiming to do differently with this one than your previous albums?